SKED user video 1, getting started with SKED. SKED is Sporty's competition management solution that has a direct link to other Sporty products including Team Builder, Sporty live scoring apps, and website widgets. To access SKED, click on the tile from your dashboard. SKED is made up of three main components: draws and results, comp builder, and standings. It will open in the Draws and Results tab, and users can navigate between tabs as required. Prior to SKED being enabled, organisations will be asked to complete a competitions details document, data from which is input into their instance of SKED to customise it according to their requirements. This information is contained in the Settings area of SKED, where grade default settings will automatically populate each phase of a competition, but can also be modified at any stage. Locations and venues. In SKED, a location is a park or centre, and a venue is what is at that location, for example, courts or fields. The locations and venues that belong to your organisation are inherited in draws according to your selection of preferred venues for each grade. If you sometimes use a location belonging to someone else, you can arrange for them to share it, and you can add it to your list of locations using shared locations. Use of a shared location provides visibility of games scheduled by other users and will validate a venue clash if it is already in use. If your organisation delivers competitions for multiple sports, you can assign a sport to a venue, limiting its use to only draws of that sport. A venue can be set to either full, half, third, or quarter size, which will determine its use according to the venue size set for each grade. For example, a grade set to use half a full-size venue per game could have 2 games scheduled at the same time on the same venue, and games will inherit an A or B suffix on the venue within the draw. A clash will be validated if you accidentally overuse a venue. Grade defaults. Information contained in the grade default area relates to settings that each grade will use when a draw is created. Grade default information will auto-populate each phase created in a competition, but also can be modified in the phase settings. For grades that share the same settings, adding or modifying data in this area can be done using bulk edit. Grade default settings include total game duration, the sum of total playing time, broken down into periods, plus time between rounds, including break times. Games can be set to contain 1, 2, or 4 periods. Preferred venues. Each grade can have a specific location and venue preference, or this can be set to home and away, in which case clubs and schools must also have a home preferred venue set. Venue size. This can be set to full, half, third, or quarter, and will determine what portion of a venue a grade will play on. Preferred times. The round start time for each grade. It is important to remember that preferred times must allow for the total game duration. For example, if this is 60 minutes, preferred times must be at least 60 minutes apart. Show and ladder. This is pre-selected, meaning that a standings table will be populated when results are recorded. For non-competitive grades, where standings are not calculated, this can be manually unselected. Points template. The chosen point template will determine how points are awarded as game results are submitted. There is quite a selection of templates to choose from, with some templates awarding bonus points for close games, default wins, and other scoring events. Ladder calculation. The method of calculation will be applied to teams on equal points. Options are differential, percentage, or differential head-to-head, which factors who beat who when the teams on equal points played each other. The latter calculation determines the order that teams will be ranked in the standings table, where there is also a manual option to re-rank teams according to your requirements. There are some advanced options that can be set per grade. Default scores. Defaulted games can have a score automatically applied to them to update the differential calculation of the standings table. Teams per draw. Setting the typical number of teams that a section or a pool within a grade is likely to have will assist when adding teams to sections in SKED Comp Builder. Team sheet required in app. When a sporty live scoring app is in use, you can select to require a team sheet submission prior to the game being scored. Team sheet submissions can be viewed in SKED Draws and Results. Allow game day players. Netball centres have the ability to accept players registering to a team on game day. When this is selected, game day players will be able to complete the game day player registration form. Allow players from a higher grade to play in this grade. When grades have been ordered according to their level, you can choose to allow players to be named on a team sheet from a higher grade by selecting this option. Venue blackouts. When a venue is known to be unavailable during a particular period, it can be blacked out to prevent it being auto-assigned to games. This does not prevent it from being manually assigned. A venue blackout can include a description label and can be set to any specific venue, time, or date range. There will be visibility of venue blackouts on the venue view. Officials. This area contains details of umpires and referees. Use of this area will vary, as some sports use an official registration form to gather this information. Multi-sport organisations can add officials to particular sports. When officials are appointed in SKED, only those from the sport of that competition will appear for selection. Organisations. This contains a list of all clubs and schools affiliated to your organisation. Names can be abbreviated to improve the public view of the draw. And if your sport requires home and away competitions, this is where home preferred venues are added. Competition folders. Competitions can be stored in folders for each season. This area allows you to create new or modify existing folders. When you create a new SKED competition, you will be required to choose a folder to store it in. Should you not wish to use this feature, all competitions can be stored in a general folder. In summary, the settings area of SKED contains all things relating to an organisation. Personalising this area improves the SKED user experience and simplifies the competition building process. Normally, this area will be managed by the SKED user following the initial setup by Sporty. SKED users can receive support from their dashboard, support and community tile, which directs them to the Sporty Online Support Centre, where there is a dedicated SKED section broken down into the various components of SKED. Answers to questions can be provided via the Help button, which is featured on all Sporty pages, where links to support articles relating to questions will also be provided. Emailing competitions@sportsground.com, where support requests are attended to by Sporty staff during business hours, Monday to Friday.